Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and it's La Liga Primera, and it's week 36. Sevilla may have just missed out on their chance. An unbelievably deflected equaliser from Real Madrid at the weekend. Atletico and Barcelona, they share the spoils. 2 points now separate the top three. It's going down to the wire. There may be value just by going with the top four boys to win on the money line. But if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I'll notify you and you'll never miss any content again, which is a massive bonus because we've got the Preakness this week, second leg of the Triple Crown. The first leg was all sorts of hoo-ha with Bob Baffert's Medina Spirit testing positive for an inflammatory, banned inflammatory, what would you call it, like a medicine or injection? But anyway, we've got MLB, NBA, but I've got Román from La Liga Lowdown, who's by far the best of the La Liga Lowdown boys. Don't blush, Román. And obviously Martin Green. If you press the link in the description, that'll take you over to articles written by either Martin or Tan or Alec. But every video that we cover here on SBR is accompanied by an article. Let me come to you first, Román. Buenos días, señor. ¿Cómo estás? And what about Barcelona, Atletico, Real Madrid and Sevilla all sharing the points?
Buenos dias. It was definitely a possibility. I mean, they could all end up sharing the points, and it happened in the end. Honestly, I expected more from Barcelona. I thought that was a key game for them to actually get a chance at winning La Liga, and they should have gone for more. I felt like the first half they were quite disappointing. They didn't really create too much danger. And as a matter of fact, I'm surprised to say that for me, Atletico were the better team overall in that game. They probably deserved the 3 points more than Barcelona. And despite their really bad record at the Camp Nou, they went there to try and win and to try and steal La Liga as soon as possible. And in the end, they got a draw, which I guess is decent, and especially for Atletico now that Real Madrid also drew that game right at the end. You know, it seemed like Sevilla was going to get the 3 points, and it was going to be, again, super close between the four teams. But Toni Kroos with Zed and Hazard right at the end just snatched that point from them.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking really for Sevilla because they'd obviously done the job that was expected of them or what they'd have wanted to do. Martin, I think it's going to go right down to the wire. I mean, obviously, I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but if there's one side that's going to get nervy, I fancy it's the league leaders, Atletico.
Heartbreaking for me, Flash. I had Sevilla draw no bet at plus 176.
Well, you didn't lose anything.
Got my money back, got a push, but yeah, it looked like I was onto a healthy profit there, and suddenly, last minute goal. You can't ever switch off.
No, you cannot. Well, deflection as well, so it's almost that's how Atletico have scored most of their goals this season.
It was a very bitter pill for the Sevilla fans to swallow, and it does look like they're a bit too far back now at this stage of the season, but all to play for between the top three. I think there are going to be a few more twists and turns before this campaign is over. So, yeah, fascinating to see what happens. Bit of a difficult time for tipping because a lot of teams have got nothing left to play for. But I think we've identified a few good games here. Looking forward to breaking them down with you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give myself a little pat on the back. I went for Cadiz. I've been crowing them all season. Went for Cadiz at massive plus 275 over the weekend. That was probably one of my only winners. Let's crack straight on then, Román. I'm going to come to you first, and it's Elche at plus 200. The draw plus 200. Remember what I say, that whenever the draw is around 200, normally ends in a draw. And Alaves at plus 155. Román, how are Alaves at plus 155? They have down tools, and they've not been a team to trust since last August.
Yeah, it is definitely a very strange number for them. I mean, as you're saying, in this case, a draw could be a very likely case scenario. It is a result that happens very often when teams go to play at Elche Stadium. Alaves honestly have improved slightly of late with their new manager Javi Calleja. They're looking better. They still have hopes of salvation. But I feel like this is going to be a tough game for them. And I feel like a draw could be a possibility. But Elche are the better side at home of all the teams that are fighting for the relegation position. They've only lost 5 times at home. Usually they draw. They can win now and then. Also, few goals between in games taking place at Elche Stadium is very likely. So I just don't see Alaves winning this one. They've only had 2 away wins in the whole season. And I feel it's very complicated for them to get it, even though they really need it, of course. But Elche are also desperate, as we all know. And the last game they had against Real Sociedad might be a bit tricky because they got a guy sent off in the 10th, 11th minute, I think, against Real Sociedad. So it was a very tough game for them. They didn't really show their worth in that one. So I think this could be a time for Elche to redeem themselves and maybe have better hope of salvation.
Yeah, the big thing is here, I don't think it's as much you want to go with Elche, it's you want to fade Alaves. Martin, Alaves, they go through the motions, and now they find themselves in a position where you're like, oh, there's a season just gone by. It's a whole season for a squad of 25 where none of them are going to come out with any credit.
Yeah, they always seem like they're one of those teams that's too good to go down. But there's 3 games left this season, and they're 2 points above the drop zone. So they're still right in the thick of it. And they've got to pull their socks up if they're gonna stay up. This is a game I think they should be winning at home against Elche, but I don't know. Both of these teams are in dreadful form. I think they'll both be scrapping for their lives. Anything could happen for me in this one. So I'm not touching it with a barge pole.
Okay, don't touch it with a barge pole. Remember, you're in the chat. Remember, these are the games down the left-hand side that we've all either got picks in or more than one pick in a particular game. If there's a game that's not been on there that you want to have a chat with, stick it on there and we'll have maybe a quick glance over it at the end. It'll only be a lean because these are the official games with picks. Let's move on because we've got Levante at plus 1,100 at home, draw plus 700. Barcelona at minus 400. Barcelona's obviously a parlay piece, Martin, but can you find value with a single?
Yeah, I think this is really time for Barcelona to get back to winning ways. They have been in reasonably good form, just a couple of dodgy results. If it wasn't for that Granada defeat, they would still be top of the table and destiny in their own hands. Apart from that, they've been fantastic since the turn of the year. No idea what's going to happen in the remaining weeks of the season, but I think they've got a good chance of having a 100% record between now and the end of the campaign. Starting with this game against a Levante side that they seem like they're on their summer holidays already, don't they? I mean, 9 points clear of the drop zone. They're not going down. They've got no chance of getting anywhere close to the European places. This is exactly the sort of team that I want to be fading in the remaining weeks of the season. I think Barcelona need to come out and make a statement. They'll be frustrated that they didn't score in that game against Atletico. So I think they'll get an early goal and win it quite comfortably. I've gone for Barcelona half-time, full-time.
The big thing with Barcelona is that they're playing against a side that don't score many goals, and they're always letting them in. But do you think that Levante actually score here? Because if they don't, then it's Barcelona win to 0.
Could be Barcelona win to 0. I mean, they have been pretty dreadful in front of goal. I know they scored twice against Alaves last time out, but they drew a blank.
That's Alaves, we've just mentioned them.
Yeah. I just can't ever quite work out Levante in terms of the level of ambition they show. Sometimes they go for it, and sometimes they sort of sit back and try to grind out results. I don't think there's much consistency in their style. Against a team like Barcelona, they could come out and try and actually, exploit some defensive weaknesses in Barcelona, because you're never going to beat them by sitting back with a team of Levante's quality. So I feel like they might get on the score sheet. They might get one, but I still think Barcelona win it pretty easily.
Oh, yeah, I've gone with Barcelona. I've stuck them in a 3-team parlay that comes up plus 200. Roman, also with Levante, they've got the type of players that can turn it on like once in a blue moon. But when Barcelona come to town, all eyes will be on them. And if any of these boys have got a sort of ambitions of going and getting to a bigger club, this is the type of opposition that you want to shine.
Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, Levante are one of those sides which tend to perform or overperform against Barcelona. We could say they've had some decent results in the last few years, and it's a team where Barca aren't very comfortable, especially at their stadium. It's a tricky one, to be honest, because as you guys have been saying, Levante haven't been looking great. They look much vulnerable than they were before. I think I mentioned a couple of shows ago that since that Copa del Rey defeat where they didn't manage to get to the final, they haven't looked like the same team. And also, you also mentioned they haven't been scoring, and it's something that's also changed in their football, because at the beginning they were getting more goals and now suddenly they're just incapable of scoring, of course, except that game against Alaves the other day. So I was looking at a stage at both teams to score, but I just not so convinced Levante are going to score in this game. And I was also considering a Barca win and under 3.5, which is at plus 175, decent, but it might be a Barcelona goal fest, so I'm just not really sure which way it's going to go. I do think Barcelona are going to win, but I don't know how to complement that exactly. So I really don't want to risk it too much in that sense.
Okay, well, maybe it is Barcelona win to 0. Maybe they just smother it, get themselves. Well, half-time, full-time definitely looks on the cards. Come out, get a couple of goals up and control the game. Now, the next team, so unlucky. We've said how brilliant they've been all year. They're obviously going to be finishing 4th worst case scenario. It's Sevilla at minus 200, draw plus 370, Valencia plus 650. Roman, I can't get Valencia right. None of us have got them right all season. They have a mass protest outside the ground on Saturday evening. I tell everyone, just steer clear of Valencia. You don't know what you're going to get. I wouldn't go anywhere near them on the money line. And they cruised to a 3-0 victory.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying all season. They're just so unpredictable. That's why I personally wouldn't go for this game. If you add to that Sevilla, of course, may have lost some motivation after that really harsh draw against Real Madrid. Winning would have definitely got them right into the middle of that battle once again. But now they're very, very far from winning it. They could, of course, want to finish 3rd or 2nd, but I'm a bit worried how this might affect them, and also worried about Valencia because, as I said, they're so unpredictable. For example, the other day against Valladolid, they had 40% possession. They had 6 shots and 3 goals, whereas Valladolid were attacking more, had more opportunities, and in the end they lost 3-0. So this could be a similar game in the sense that Sevilla are going to have the control of the ball. They're going to dominate. They're going to look to get a goal, but in those counterattacks, we know that Valencia is a very dangerous side. So that's why I'm not too sure. And also they have the new typical managerial boost where the new guy comes in. In this case, it's Boro, the caretaker manager, who's now come on the 7th time to take care of the club after a manager is gone, and he always tends to get decent results. He's always he's saved Valencia from difficult situations before, and he seems to be doing it now. As a matter of fact, they've basically saved themselves, but a draw or 3 points would definitely seal the deal from any relegation scare. So I'm just not too sure with Valencia nowadays, so in my opinion, I'll just keep away.
Yeah, my faith is all with Sevilla because I think that defensively, I mean, so unlucky at the weekend, but all season long, you can rely on them. Listen, the goals were a bit of a problem because they were creating but not finishing them off. But now at minus 200, I'm sticking them in with Barcelona and one other selection at plus 200. Martin, I see Sevilla being far too strong and professional, and I think they get the job done here.
Yeah, I'm going for Sevilla too, Flash. It's been my number one rule not to bet on Valencia this season, and I think it's been a good decision because, like Román said, they've been extremely inconsistent. They lose when you expect them to win when you expect them to lose. Half a good team, half a dreadful team. Who knows what you're going to get? But I just look at Sevilla. They're the superior team. They were desperately unlucky last night. Perhaps a draw was a fair result at the end, and they got lucky with the penalty, but they were so close to getting that crucial 3 points and getting back into the title race. It probably is a bit too far to expect them to win the title now, but they could still finish in the top 3, and that would be a significant achievement for a club of Sevilla's stature to gate crash that top 3 party. So I think they can win it. Their recent record against Valencia is terrific. They beat them 3-0 in January. I think they won 0 in their last 3 games against Valencia. Superior team in midfield. Both teams have got the same amount of days in between their last game and this one, so there's not a fatigue issue. I think the better team wins out in the end. So yeah, I've just gone for Sevilla and under 4.5 goals.
Yeah, under 4.5 goals always seems the way to go when you're talking about Sevilla because they can dominate a game, and every now and again they do score more than 3, but not very often because they haven't got a real top-class, world-class striker. Now, going on to the next game, Martin, this is out of spite for me because I've got Celta at plus 140. There is plus 150 about. Draw plus 235. And Getafe at plus 210. I went with Getafe at the weekend at plus 130. And they were more than disappointing. So I've got spiteful here. I'm going with a home side, plus money, 140. And that's because Celta score goals. Getafe, I just can't see what they bring to the table.
Yeah, just looking at it now, Flash, it's a really good price on Celta. They did a number on Villarreal at the weekend. I think obviously Villarreal were tired, and you're always going to get a bit of a hangover from a big European performance like that. I had both teams to score, so I was pleased to see that one come in. But yeah, I think Celta Vigo have the weapons to open up this Getafe defence. Getafe are a much different opposition to Villarreal. They're going to, sit back and keep things tight and not allow too many chances. But yeah, I can't see them causing too many problems for Celta in attack. That's Celta's biggest weakness is its defence. But yeah, I can see Celta Vigo winning this game too. Like the price there, and Getafe not out of relegation danger yet, but things are looking a bit bleak for them right now. So yeah, I agree. Home team looks good.
Yeah, the big thing is Getafe, they go into like the Alaves mould. They think that they're better than they are. They turn up and they put a performance in and then they take their foot off the gas, Roman. And I look at how can Celta be at plus 150, plus 140 right across the board, plus anything against a Getafe side that don't score enough goals, home or away?
It's absolutely shocking, to be honest, because also let's not forget that Getafe are a very poor team away from home and they're playing Celta Stadium, so I really don't understand where this price is coming from, to be honest. We saw that Celta against Villarreal were very comfortable, they played better, and they were doing that without Iago Aspas, which is also important to keep in mind because he was coming back from an injury, and seeing that the result was being very favourable, the manager decided to give him a rest, so he's going to be ready to play against Getafe, and I think he's going to put that defence under a lot of pressure and a lot of trouble. It's true that Getafe, of course, are fighting for their lives here. They're very close to those relegation positions. But Celta just look really good at the moment, and I think it shouldn't be too complicated for them to win, despite that pressure I was mentioning that Getafe had. So I really do think it's a good opportunity for the Celta to get another 3 points. And also, let's not forget, Europe is not too far away for Celta. They are 4 points away from Betis, who have a game at hand, but still, a defeat there or something could really put them into that fight for the Conference League or even Europa League, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you say that Getafe fighting for their lives. You should have said should be fighting for their lives because I've not seen enough urgency. And we always say throughout all of the divisions that some team or some teams, they get dragged in because they don't see danger. And when they do see it, it's too late. And I think that Getafe could well be one of them, especially if the results go against them in the other fixtures. Now we've got Atletico at minus 165. Cannot work this price out. This third leg of my parlay. Draw plus 300. And Sociedad plus 530. Roman, Sociedad look like they've just sort of down tools and think that they've done enough. They may well get caught as well.
They could. I mean, Real Sociedad somehow are comfortable in the standings. They haven't let Villarreal or Betis catch them up. And despite not playing too well or getting too many goals, they're still getting the results. Although they are dropping points there, they've had a few games against teams in the relegation battle, and they have struggled a lot. As I was saying, I just see them struggling a lot for goals, even against weaker sides, when they have a lot of quality in front with Oyarzabal, with Isak, with Porto, etc. They should be capable of getting many more goals. And on the other hand, Atletico de Madrid, as I said at the beginning of the show, they had, for me, a very decent game against Barcelona. They deserve the win. And if they can perform at that level against Real Sociedad, I really do think the win is at hand for them. And of course, we all know they're fighting for La Liga. It's a crucial game for them. They have already made a lot of mistakes along the way, but this is might be their only last chance, to kind of go for La Liga, because if they drop points here, I don't know if mentally they'll be prepared to actually win the title. So this is crucial for Atletico de Madrid.
This stinks of both teams to score no, Martin. It stinks of maybe Atletico win to 0. And I'll tell you now, if they go 1 or 2 up, they are not going over the halfway line. They are not. So is this the old Martin classic of Atletico and under 4.5?
Oh yeah, I think if you fancy Atletico to win this, you've got to throw in under 4.5 goals. I really can't see this being a 5-goal thriller. That very rarely happens when Atletico are involved. Yeah, it's a question of motivation again, isn't it? Real Sociedad are looking relatively comfortable. I know they could still be caught, but they could afford to lose this game and they could still finish 5th, whereas this is kind of make or break time for Atletico now. If they can win this is their hardest game remaining this season, 2 after this. If they can win tonight, this one, they'll have belief that they can go on and win the title. And Cholo Simeone, he seems pretty good at getting his players fired up. there's never really a question of motivation. They'll fight for every ball, and they should have enough quality to score a couple of goals in this game, and they should be able to win the midfield battle as well. I don't know what Saul Niguez wasn't there, came off again, didn't he? Came on and then came off again. But with Koke, with the players they've got, I expect them to win the midfield battle here. I think Real Sociedad needs to buy midfielders in the summer. You don't get enough games out of Mendy anymore, and they need a deep line playmaker as well. I just think this is the sort of game that Atletico can grind out a win. So I'm going for them. Atletico and under 4.5 goals, minus 105.
Yeah, and again, I think this is another one where both teams to score no, or Atletico win to nil, whichever takes your fancy. But I think Atletico and under 4.5, or just do what I've done and just don't even worry about how they win as long as they win. The last game is Eibar at plus 180, draw plus 240, Betis at plus 175. Martin, I was dogging Eibar last week, and they came up trumps again. They're giving themselves a chance, if anything else.
It's amazing. They're on the brink of a great escape. I love stories like this when a team starts playing like this. This is what we wanted to see from Eibar throughout the season. And they've got momentum now. There's teams above them that are really struggling, and they're only 3 points behind 16th placed Alaves now. If they keep this up, they'll beat the drop, which looked like Mission Impossible a couple of weeks ago. They've just got momentum, which is what you need at this time of season. They've got belief. Whereas Real Betis are just sort of stuttering towards the end of the season now. I think they've drawn like 5 in a row. Nothing much.
Yeah, their urgency is not right, is it? Their urgency is not right at all.
They seem half asleep. Whereas Eibar are going to be just playing as if their lives depend on it. They have done for the last 2 games. I have to go with the team that has momentum. I've got plus 100 on Eibar draw no bet. Put in a draw no bet because Betis draws so many games, but I think they can get this. I think they can do it. I think they might beat the drop. It's going to be fascinating to see if they can do it.
Well, can you imagine, Ewan, if Eibar actually he'll be like dancing in the streets, Roman? I mean, Eibar at plus 180, it's all or nothing for them. I'm not sure if a point's going to be okay, but the big thing, like Martin says, is they can't get beat. So would you go with draw no bet, plus 180, or even double chance and stick it in a parlay?
I'm not so sure. I mean, it's true that Eibar do seem to be thriving in this delicate position at the moment. They're getting great results when nobody expected it, let's be honest. I mean, Eibar are doing great in these last few games, and as you said, Betis are drawing a lot. It'll be interesting to see what Betis do tonight against Granada and the game they're playing. Of course, that could maybe give you an idea of what version of Betis we're going to see. And I was surprised to see that between the last 5 meetings between Eibar and Betis, Eibar have a favourable record with 2 wins and 3 draws. So Betis haven't won against them in the last 5. So that gives some optimism for those who want to believe in Eibar. And there's definitely an opportunity, and maybe a double chance might be an interesting bet, or even a draw no bet. You have to be brave, though, I have to say, because momentum is definitely there. But Betis can be a good side, and they are fighting for Europe still. They're also with Villarreal and Real Sociedad there, trying to get that Europa League position, and they really need to win. And I think with Pellegrini, they've become a much more reliable, solid side, we could say, overall as a whole. So, I mean, at some point, they're going to have to get a win. But it is true that, as you said, Eibar are doing really, really well, and betting on momentum can make sense.
Yeah, they're in it together. That's the big thing for me. They're all rowing in the same direction. I know these are all cliches, but when you see Eibar play, they squeeze right up high. They don't let you have to go from back to front, which is obviously something that Betis don't want to do. And they're like, go on then, you play through us. And every man just closes down, and there's no way through them. I mean, I think that maybe unders is in play here. I don't think, I don't see this being an open, expansive game. I see that Eibar are definitely going to be in there scrapping and asking Betis the questions. And I'm not sure that Betis, at this stage of the season, are going to have the right answers. So I wouldn't put anyone off of the draw no bet at plus 100 or the double chance if you want to stick it in a parlay. Esteban, can you stick up the records? Not the records. No records. The picks, please. Okay, here we go. Barcelona half-time, full-time at minus 125. Sevilla to win and under 4.5, minus 129. Atletico and under 4.5 at minus 105. And Eibar, draw no bet at plus 100 for Martin. Roman's gone. Elche, draw no bet, plus 105. Celta, plus 150. Just got a better price than me. And Atletico, an under 2.5 at plus 250. So 1-0, 2-0 is going to suit every one of us because I've just gone, don't complicate it. Barcelona, Sevilla, Atletico at plus 200 the parlay. And I just thought Celta at plus 140 was too big. So imagine how Roman felt when he got plus 150. 2-team parlay, please, gentlemen. Roman, who's your first team?
I'd say I'd go with that Atletico bet, either under 4.5 or 2.5, whichever you guys prefer.
Well, I mean, the under 2.5 is plus 250. Is that right?
Yeah,
is that right, Martin?
That's what I saw.
Yeah, because under 4.5 is minus 105.
Wow, that's massive though, isn't it? For the little 1-0, 2-0, and just let's get the points and get out of there. Let's put that in the parlay, eh?
Sure.
Okay, Martin, I wonder if they would let us do it, but we could go with the Atletico and under 4.5 as well.
Go home. No, yeah, you can't do that.
No, you cannot.
But I'll go for Barcelona
half-time, full-time looks like a good one to me as well. There's plenty of these teams where both teams to score, but most of these games, both teams to score, no. Definitely looks on the cards. Now, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, and ring the bell. Ring the bell means I can notify you, never miss any content again. Coming up this week, we're going to have live Serie A and live La Liga with Bet With Us, which is a massive bonus because then we go Serie A, Bundesliga, and then Premier League and La Liga on Friday. Roman, are you with us on Friday?
No, not me.
Oh, I nearly said.
I'll be the week after, I think.
Okay, can't wait. I can't wait.
Don't miss
Everyone
me
else. No, obviously we won't. Thumbs up, please. Show a little bit of appreciation for both Martin and Roman. It's going to go right down to the wire at the moment. Atletico lead the standings by 2 points. Madrid and Barcelona. Listen, people have forgot. It's massive that Barcelona finished second over Madrid. Anything over Madrid, Barcelona love to do it. You take care, and thanks for joining.